Hi there, I'm Craig Matthews, the CEO of Osprey Approach, and we're delighted to be hosting a joint webinar today with the Law Factory, a team of experienced outsourced legal cashiers that we've had the pleasure of working with for many years now. I'm joined by Alex Simons, the new business development manager at Law Factory, who has a wealth of knowledge in legal accounting and especially around implementing account software and processes in a legal setting. He'll be talking to us about just how essential it is to have your accounts team involved during the procurement process, when you're choosing a new practice management software and making the right fit for your business. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Alex.
Thank you, Craig. That's really great of you. It's great to be here. Really lovely to be doing this joint webinar with Osprey. We've got a great relationship. We go back many years, and the software really works for us as well. So what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about getting your accounts team involved when you think about a software change, because they are integral to the business, and it may be a regretful decision later down the line not to have them involved. And there are many reasons why that is. Software has changed dramatically. I've been working for Law Factory for 20 years now, and I've seen software change incredibly over those years, from very basic accounting packages that don't do much else, to be honest. Very basic, but they did the job. They kept solicitors compliant and all that kind of thing. But then now we have full case management suites where your entire business can be run through the software that you've chosen. Essentially, what we're going to look at is, to start off with, is what if I don't get the accounts team involved in my software change? Generally, the processes can be at risk if you exclude the accounts department. The software that you want to move to, or the firm is looking to move to, it might not work with the current systems and processes that the firm uses. And that's really important, because in 2020, we have this change whereby the system itself is almost governing how the firm works. So all of your processes are based around what goes in and out of this, so that there is very good efficiency. So the other element of change is understanding whether a new piece of software is a good fit. And by good fit, I mean it needs to have either equal to or better functionality than your original piece of software. If a new piece of software doesn't do that, and the accounts team hasn't been involved, there's a huge risk there, because the accounts team then is given a piece of software. They say, well, okay, you're going to have to change everything that you do surrounding the legal aid contract for this firm. And maybe you could be in a situation where the accounts team has to do it manually. And that is hugely inefficient in comparison to the way that they did it before. And this leads us nicely onto the time impact. And the accounts department, time is everything. And what most legal cashiers do is they look to work efficiently and shave time off every single task. And the key is to look at the system and make sure that the system allows you to work quickly. And the software itself must be at least as fast to use as the previous software. But what we're looking for, really, certainly from an accounts perspective, we're looking for the new software to have features to enable us to process everything faster than our current software. And then the last risk, really, the last main risk, is the staff tension. And it's going to cause ruffled feathers, shall we say, if the accounts team isn't involved in making the decision, or certainly aiding towards the decision. Essentially, their entire working practice is going to be shaken up, regardless of what piece of software is chosen. But if they've had a say in it and they haven't had a time to prepare and strategize for using the new piece of software, then it's going to cause some serious headaches across your accounts team. One of the other elements that we need to think about when we're in the accounts department and when we're looking at changing software, we need to think about how we operate now. How do we work? What do we do? Right down to the basics. And the reason for that is that the basics are what drive everything. So if the basics take too long, everything else is delayed. So we need to really think about that. So let's break it down into 5 little areas that cover sort of some essentials. The first area is the absolute basic, and that's the source information. How do we currently get our source information? Do we get our source information on paper? Another big element in every practice is the billing department. Essentially the bills dictate how much money we're going to be getting. So how does it handle the bills? So the next one is the bank reconciliations. And this is a big area for the accounts department. Month-end reports. And that's another massive area, because at the end of the day, all of the work that we as cashiers put into the system on a daily basis go into producing a set of reports that we can account for. And then just a couple of other considerations really as to general working practices. And, we need to think about what we do now and is it going to be better moving on to the next system. So this all surrounds a theme, and that is efficiency and time saving and making things easier. And I'm just going to talk briefly about, will we actually increase efficiency by moving systems? One of the first examples was the source information, and we talked about how we operate now. Do we use paper? Do we use spreadsheets? Do we use emails? Perhaps requisitions are a good way forward. Digital slips, essentially, where the cashier gets that instantly, and it's on system, and all the details are provided by the fee earner secretary as they would do normally on a piece of paper, but it's already on system, and nothing goes missing, nothing gets lost. There's no handwriting issues, and all the accounts department does is it finds that requisition in their list, checks it to make sure they're happy with it, refers back to the ledger if they need to, and then they either authorize it and act upon it, and then they post it onto the system. The next one we spoke about was the billing processes. So as we said, we're using paper bills. Are they done manually on Word and then sent around? How is it done? But I would say that 2020, we've moved way beyond, those the processes that we had 15 or so years ago. So why not use the system? Get the accounts department to investigate whether on-system automated billing processes are going to increase their efficiency. The ledger copies was one of the other ones that we spoke about. And yeah, having a system whereby you can access ledgers from anywhere is massively important, certainly at the moment when there are a lot of people now who are working from home. Gone are the days really where you can have ledger printouts, I think. And I think a ledger printout where cashier has to go hunting for a fee earner who's asked for a printout to have a look at it. I think we're now in a position where fee earners and secretaries should be able to have their own login and they can look at ledgers. And if they do have a query with that ledger, then yeah, contact the accounts department, have a chat about it. The next topic is report collation with regard to efficiency increases. Many pieces of software allow reports to be stored within it. So you can simply run your month end, you have a suite of reports saved within the software, and they can be rendered at any time. And you can go back into any month or period, go and get them. If an auditor or COFA needs to look at one of those reports, very simple. Either they log into the system themselves, or the cashier goes in, gets them, emails them, saves them somewhere for them to find in a secure area. The key to all of this is that when you do get your cashiers involved, they need to investigate the system fully, and they need to have a lot of pre-prepared questions. Again, think about how they operate at the moment, what they do for certain things, how they post and stuff like that. They need to get these questions ready to go. They can ask these questions before the final decision is made so that they're happy that it is going to be the right choice for them. It is, in my opinion, of the utmost importance that the accounts team is involved in every step of the way. So not just after the initial decision has been made. Don't wait until you're a couple of months down the line and your accounts department, you've practically made up your mind, and the accounts department is then told, oh, we might be moving to this software. Get them involved at the beginning and let them have a conversation with you about how they operate, what their processes are, what the firm's policies are, and just ensure that they have a list of questions to ask and go through with the new software company to ensure that all of the bases are covered. And really, the new piece of software should be more efficient. It should be faster. It should be more secure. And it's certainly much easier to use than your current system.